Welcome to episode 20 of SpeakSmart. Today, we'll be learning how to tell the time in English with a fun and engaging conversation between Sophia and James. Hi James, can you tell me what time it is? I seem to have forgotten my watch at home today.
Sure, Sophia. The time is 3:15 p.m. right now. You always check the time on your watch, don't you?
Yes, I do. It's so handy. But sometimes I forget to wear it, and then I rely on asking others.
I see. Well, knowing how to tell the time in English is very important. Let's practice a bit.
That's a great idea. How would you say 2:30 in English? Is it correct to say 2:30?
Not quite. We say to 30 or, more commonly, 2:30. You could also say 30 minutes past 2.
Oh, that makes sense. What about 6:45? How would you phrase that?
6:45 can be said in two ways, 6:45 or 6:45. Both are correct.
That's interesting. So, English uses half past and quarter to quite often.
Exactly. When it's 15 minutes past an hour, we say 1/4 past, and for 15 minutes before, we say 1/4 to.
Can you give me some more examples to make sure I understand?
Of course, for 15 can be said as for 15 or 1/4 past 4, and 7:45 is 7:45.
What about 5:30? Would it be half past 5?
That's absolutely correct. 5:30 is always said as 5:30 or just 5:30.
That's quite straightforward. Now, how do we describe times like 12 o'clock or 12:15?
We call 12 o'clock noon or midnight. For 12:15, we say 12:15 or 1/4 past 12.
I understand now. But how do we describe times like 11:59 or 12:01?
For 11:59, we often say 1 minute to 12. For 12:01, we say 1 minute past 12.
That's logical. Are there any other special ways of telling time in English?
Yes, we sometimes use phrases like just after or almost. For example, 10:02 can be just after 10, and 9:59 can be almost 10.
That's quite helpful. What about digital clocks? Are there any differences in describing the time?
Not really, but people might simply read the numbers on digital clocks as they appear, like 10:05 for 10:05.
I see. And how would we describe times like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock?
We call those on the hour, so 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock, and so on.
That's a simple way to remember it. Can you explain how to describe time zones?
Sure, you just add the time zone name. For example, 3 p.m. EST means 3 o'clock in Eastern Standard Time.
That's useful for international conversations. Are there specific phrases for early or late times?
Absolutely. For early times, we say early morning, like 6 a.m. For late, we might say late evening, like 10 p.m.
What if I want to ask someone about their available time?
You could ask, what time works for you? Or when are you available? These are polite ways to inquire.
That's great. Now, can you tell me how to ask for the time in a more casual way?
You can simply say, what time is it? Or even got the time, which is very informal.
I like that. It sounds more friendly and relaxed.
Exactly. Casual conversations are usually more comfortable when using these types of expressions.
I agree. Now, what if I need to describe a time for an event, like a meeting?
For events, you can say something like, the meeting is at 2 p.m. or the concert starts at 7:30 p.m.
I see. That's clear. And how about if I want to set a time to meet with someone?
You can say, how about 4 p.m.? Or let's meet at 10 a.m. It's a simple and polite way to arrange meetings.
That sounds so easy to do. I'm getting more confident with telling the time in English.
That's great to hear. Practice makes perfect, and you're doing an amazing job.
Thanks, James. I'm glad to have you to help me learn.
Anytime, Sophia. It's fun learning together.
I agree. I feel like I'm learning so much today.
I'm glad to hear that. Telling the time is one of the most important skills in English.
Yes, it's really useful. Now I feel ready to use these phrases in real-life situations.
That's the spirit, and don't worry, you'll keep improving with practice.
Thanks for all your help, James. I'm excited to use what I've learned today.
You're welcome, Sophia. I'm proud of your progress. Keep it up.
I'll definitely keep practicing. I want to be fluent in English one day.
And you will. With determination and practice, you'll reach your goal.
Thanks again, James. I really appreciate all your support.
It's my pleasure, Sophia. I'm happy to help you anytime.
I feel more confident now. Telling time in English is not so hard after all.
Exactly, Sophia. You've got the hang of it.
I'm so happy we had this conversation. I learned so much.
Me too, Sophia. Learning together makes it much more fun.
I can't wait for our next lesson. I wonder what we'll learn next.
I'm sure it will be something exciting. We'll keep learning more and more.
I look forward to it. Thanks again for being such a great teacher.
You're very welcome, Sophia. It's always a pleasure to teach you.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up this lesson.
Yes, you're right. I hope everyone watching learned a lot today.
Me too. See you next time, James.
See you next time, Sophia. Take care.
Thank you for watching episode 20 of SpeakSmart. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next lesson.